Welcome to Lifing 101, a journey through life's experiences, challenges, and interpretations. An intriguing and soul-refining podcast that explores the countless twists of life. Get ready to be amused, enlightened, entertained, empowered, and inspired. Hosted by Tina C. Christian, your MC with the LPC, and guest co-host Lorenda McKinney, your MC with the PhD.
Welcome, lovely listeners, to an exciting episode of Lifing 101 podcast,
where we dive into life's little mysteries and offer you insights to help you lead a happier, more fulfilling life.
I'm your MC with the LPC, Tina C. Christian, navigating y'all through this journey up and down and all around on this emotional roller coaster we call life.
And I'm your MC with the PhD, Lorenda McKinney. So grab your favorite beverage, find a comfortable spot, sit back and relax while we embark on this restorative journey together.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening out there. Welcome to the 2024 Toxic-Free Pot of Soul podcast of Lifing 101 podcast. So, Doc, I guess whole beginning of the year we've talked about Toxic-Free 2024, but we've talked about toxic traits, and we've kind of moved on from that. We've talked about some green flags and what that looks like in relationships. And then last week we had the sisterhood retreat, and so we did a live kind of Pot of Soul episode to kind of talk about some things as far as women and inspiring and empowering women. So today
we're going to talk about friend check-ins. Or do you get an A for friend check-ins? Do you get a F minus? Where are you with your friends check-ins? Do you know their expectations? Do you know what they may expect from you as far as check-ins?
That's a good one, because I know I never thought about that, a friendship check-in. I mean, I do check in with my friends, but I never really thought about the friendship check-in until we kind of talked about what we were going to talk about today, because I know when I would see clients, I would always do the mental health check-in.
Right.
When they first come in, it's like, so how do you feel? And so what is your goal for this meeting? And who can help you with that? So that was like an every session type of thing. I don't do that all the time with my friends. I may ask some people like, how are you feeling or how you doing or something, but I don't know what I would get. What would you get for a friendship check-in? What do you think, in between an A and an F, or A minus, F plus?
Honestly, I am a really good check-inner. I am. And that's not just me saying it. I probably check in with people more than they really need. But I also feel like it should come so naturally that you might not even feel like it's a check-in. Right. Because you just yeah. And you may not do it as a how are you doing, but you start texting them before you know it, you realize that you have checked that box because you guys have talked about what may be going on or what may be bothering you. But I don't think that it should feel like a chore. Yeah. So I guess so I guess that's important too, because if you feel like, oh God, let me check and see what's going on with her, or let me check and see what's going on with him, I guess that would kind of be a problem, because it almost makes it feel like you don't want to do it, or you have to set a date and a time to do it. So I guess it should come natural, and you should just naturally want to see what those people are up to. Yeah.
Well, I know that if I know someone is going through something, then I'm probably more likely to check in and see, like, you know, if you've lost a loved one, or if you're going through a relationship problems, or you're sick, I may, you know, or if I haven't heard from you in a while. Right. Like when we came back from the sisterhood retreat, Alicia, I hadn't heard from her in a couple of days. I'm like, she hasn't texted, she hasn't said anything. What the hell's going on? So I'm going to call you like, hey, What's going on? Yeah. So I'm more likely to do something like that. It just depends on the relationship too, because like with Veronica, I'm probably going to text her every day. Right. Like, hey sis, how you doing? Or she's going to text me, or vice versa. Right. Other people, again, it depends on the relationship, who you are. If there's something going on, I'm more likely to contact you. Or if I feel like I haven't heard from you, I'm going to check in with you. But I think we could all probably do better in regarding to friendship check-ins. But what is a friendship check-in? What should that look like?
So it's funny that this came up tonight, because this morning I literally checked in on 3 friends. 1 lives in Vegas and 2 lives in Texas. And I hadn't heard from them in a while. And I literally just said, how the hell are you? Like, hey, good morning. How the hell are you? And it was short, but one was like, oh, what a pleasant surprise. And then another one was just like, hey. So it comes natural, but I guess you shouldn't have expectations for it, because that's when you'll start wondering, am I getting done wrong? Should this person be doing more than they are? So I guess you don't want to get yourself caught up with a number, you know, an actual number. But I think a check-in is actually just someone just making sure you're okay. Just literally. So if you're not a big phone person, because I'm not, I'm faster to email you or send you a text. And I feel like if it gets heavy, then I'll call. Right. But I know everybody's busy, and I know sometimes it's much faster to shoot somebody a response like, I'm good. But if you kind of get a feeling that maybe they're not, because you know your people. Right. So if you get a feeling that maybe they're not good, then maybe I would reach out either more often, like you said, or I may will call. But I think it's a friendship check-in is basically just to make sure everything's okay.
Right. Especially if you know somebody's going through something. With everything that's going on right now in this world, it's heavy. It gets heavy. And then, you know, my husband and I were talking about how society is and how with the age of technology, everybody, you know, is kind of individualized. And so isolated a lot of times.
And they seem detached.
Yeah, the kids especially, you know, they've lost social skills or the ability to create relationships and stuff. And so I think with the age of technology and that we're in, a lot of people don't even realize how important it is to reach out and check in or don't know how. Right. So I think that's important to kind of point out that it doesn't hurt to just kind of check in, text, whether it's a text or a phone call, an email or whatever, unless you feel like somebody's really going through something, then it's probably not appropriate to text or email or, you know, so you may need to call. Right. You know. And
I guess the check-in, we're focusing on friendship check-ins, but the check-ins across the board. Because I say that because, like I've said before, every morning, me, my mom, my niece, and my nephew, we always text first thing in the morning. That's why I never understand when people are missing for months. And you'd be like, how did they make it a month and nobody knew that they were missing? Because I just really feel like there should be at least one, possibly two people that you talk to every single day. And they should notice when you don't. Because I remember when I lived in Vegas, my sister was about ready to call the police to come check on me because I didn't respond to a text. I think I didn't get it or something, but everything was okay. But she's about to get the whole National Guard on me. So I think that it's important to have some regular check-ins. That way they'll know right away if something's not right or something like that. But I just think that it's important to realize there's not a right number. So it just kind of depends on what your people need, and it shouldn't feel like a chore.
Right. And it depends on the relationship too. Yes. I mean, if you don't talk to someone on a regular, then I'm sure nobody would be expecting you to be checking in on them on a regular. Right. Because it's just, every relationship is going to be different.
Yeah. And they probably have their other people that do check in on them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Check-in partners. Yeah. But if that's your relationship, if you're very close to someone and, or if you have a tight bond and you talk on a regular, then, I mean, not just talking, but maybe like when we say check-in, I mean mentally, emotionally. Yeah. And even physically, you know, because again, when you was like, you know, I'm good, you know. Right. We've talked about that before. Sometimes people are good and sometimes they're just saying that they're good because they're masking, but are you really checking in and do you really care? Right. You know, and sometimes a check-in may even warrant a pop-up, you know, not necessarily a pop-up, but a visit.
Yeah, or a meetup. Hey, let's get together tonight and so we can see each other face to face. Yeah.
Because people can say a lot of things behind the phone and or in a text that they can't hide in person. Right. So I've told like people before, you know, if you talk to somebody and they don't sound like they're okay, even though they're telling you they are, then it may be important to kind of reach out and try to make a way where you can see them in person, whether it be like, hey, I'll be over to your house when, you know, when's a good time, or I mean, or if you feel like it's something that's serious and they're really kind of hiding it, that would be the only time I would recommend a pop-up, because I don't do pop-ups. Right. I hate for people to pop up at my house. But if you really feel like there's a need, because I'd rather have a pop-up and someone be checked on and be okay than to not pop up and check and something's wrong. Right.
And you assume that they're okay and they're not, because you won't be able to clear that from your mind ever.
Conscious.
If you do that. Yeah, for sure. But you brought up a good point, Tina, about it depends on the relationship, because where I might check in with you once a month, you have your crew that are checking in with you on a daily or every other day basis, or it's not even a check-in. Y'all just talk every day.
Right.
So
you don't have to do a check-in.
Yeah, so you don't have to do a check-in, but it's the level of friendship, and it doesn't mean one is less important than the other one. It's just that's the way you guys function.
Correct. And that's the bond that you've established, because I have friends that I may talk to on a daily basis. I have friends that I may talk to on a weekly basis. I have friends that I may talk to on a monthly basis. And then I have my people that I may just check in whenever.
Right.
But you know your level of relationship with people.
You do.
Too. So say, for instance, this person that I only talk to like on a monthly basis, 6 months has passed. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. What
right.
I ain't heard from her, you know.
Right.
Like my cousin Treese. We text or call every blue moon or whatever, but we still check in. It's been months, and now I'm thinking about it like, hey, I ain't heard from her. I'm going to need to text her. She going to or call her or something. But you know the level of relationship. So yeah, it would be good to check in with people on your regular schedule. But if you feel like something else is going on, by all means, check in sooner. Right. Call, text, come by, try to create a date or something, or a schedule where you guys can meet something if you feel like that's a need. But just check in on people.
Yeah. And I don't think you'll take it personal depending on the relationship. You're not going to take it personal. But I do think there is maybe a such thing as these people being your people, and you feel like you're doing it more than they do. I mean, that can feel, that can be a feeling. Yeah, that can be a feeling too. But I just think that it's important to make it a valuable check-in. Not just something that you're just doing to check, to check the box off, to say, oh, I did check on them, and then in 2 weeks you hear something major was going on and you never got that hint when you were talking to them. It's just important. Everybody has so much, and we say this so much, but everybody has a lot going on. And with everybody having a lot going on, sometimes that one check-in can be that one thing that saves the day for a person.
Correct. And that's kind of what I was thinking while you were talking. It's like we said, there's no exact number.
Right. There's no right or wrong
number. However, it should be, and it should go both ways.
Yes.
If you've had this type of relationship and this bond and you're not checking in, then that's going to probably feel hurtful to the other person, or vice versa.
Right.
So, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but you can't do things like this and then all of a sudden kind of fall off without it feeling a certain kind of way to the other person, because if they are going through something and you didn't check in, then they're going to probably feel a certain kind of way, because it's like, well, you didn't care, or did you even care enough to check to see if something was going on. So friendship check-ins, relationship check-ins, whether it's your parents, your kids, whatever. Know your people, know your schedule, because honestly, my schedule fluctuates depending on the person and or relationship. And I know I see some people, like, I've said before to some of my friends, like, I admire your relationship with XYZ or your mom or your dad, because I don't have that. But again, that's the norm for me. Like, I love my mom. I talk to her when I talk to her, but I don't talk to my mom every day, all day. But there's some friends that I know that talk to their mom every day, all day. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. But I don't have that relationship. So my mom doesn't expect to hear from me every day, all day. And I don't expect to hear from her every day, all day. We don't have that. However, there may be, friends that I do, or like my daughter. Okay, we may talk every day. But that's the relationship that we've established. My son once a week or something. It just depends on who the person is and what relationship. I have cousins that I may talk to once a year, and then I have cousins that I may talk to once a week. So it really depends on the person and the relationship. But if you have that closeness, I think that's going to be the most important check-in for that other person, because they're going to probably expect you to be that person and their person to check in on them. Whereas somebody that you don't talk to on a regular probably won't have that same expectation.
And I mean, I have cousins and friends that I literally don't talk to, literally with words, but we're sending memes to each other that we make us think of each other. But it's important to reciprocate. And then a good point you brought up, when people are going through things, trust me, they're going to remember who checked in on them. And they may not ever say a word to you, but they're going to remember, because I'm that person. I'm going to remember when I'm down who checked in on me, because those people are who kept you going at a time when you really needed it. So you're going to remember the people that were there for you. And should you have to reach out and go, you didn't call me? No, because that relationship should be established, so that person should know know those things are going on because they should have been unchecked in.
Right, because if you have that relationship, how do you not know it's going on?
Right.
That's the question.
That is the question.
What happened that you didn't know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel that completely because, I mean, if that's your relationship, because like I can think of one, you know, person that I don't talk to all the time, but every time we talk, we pick right back up.
Where you left off.
So there may be some times when I don't know what's going on because that's not the relationship we have, but then they're not expecting me to know either because they know we don't talk like that. But I feel like with that as well, when there's a check-in required for friends, I also feel like there's a time when you should be leaning and allowing yourself to kind of let people know to a certain degree. You don't have to go and tell all your business or anything like that. You don't even have to give specifics. But if you have some people, your friends, your friendships, your peoples, then maybe you should be, you know, using them to lean on for support so that they know that they're needed or it's warranted, you know, because everybody can't always know, especially if you don't talk all the time. Nobody's going to read your mind. Nobody, you know, if they're not there or if you're in different cities, different states, or, you know, you don't communicate on a regular, that may not be known. Right.
And see, I'm fast. My people are going to always know because honey, the first thing I'm going to do is send out a text and say, please pray for such and such, because I'm not afraid to ask for prayer. So that's going to be the first sign that they know that something is going on. And then they're going to check in because now they know you've asked for prayer. They know that you're not a person to reach out for false stuff. So they know this is serious. And they're going to naturally check in once you've tipped them off, basically.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I was just trying to point out that it may be important for you not to keep everything to yourself and let someone know, your people, whoever your people are, whoever those, if they're your close people or not, if you're expecting people to check in on you, have you allowed them the opportunity by letting them know that you need some additional support? Because if you don't have a relationship where you're talking all the time or checking in with each other all the time, you can't really expect them to check in on you when something's going on when they didn't know that something was going on, you know?
Yeah, you can't hold people accountable for what they had no idea about. So your close people are gonna know that something is something is going on. And then if there's a close person that doesn't, or a semi-close person, the other close person that knows that person will definitely tell them. They may tell them, you know, such and such, this is going on, for them to reach out, because sometimes you may miss that person if it starts happening too fast. You may not be able to alert everybody, but you can trust that the people that do know, they'll tell the people that you would want to know. Yeah.
Well, with that friendship check-in and or your people check-in, I think as we're talking, I'm kind of thinking, I know we talked about it a little bit before with each other. I don't know if we mentioned it to the listeners, but we don't really value friendships like we should.
Right.
We look at friendships as if they're disposable.
Yes.
And, you know, it's like take it or leave it when they should be more like, you know, marriage.
Like a marriage.
You know? And so if you start looking at your friendships in that light as in being more important to you, then I think that you will be authentic in doing the things that you should do in friendship.
You're so right. Because if you look at it as a significant other to you, because to be honest, it is a significant other. It's a person that's very significant in your life. If they left, would you feel it? And you should. Or they shouldn't be in your, they shouldn't be in your circle if they're not enough that you would, if Tina decided, okay, I'm not talking to that no more, that would be really weird to me. That would. So they are significant others. They are people that are significant in your life, and they hold some type of peace. They hold a peace. And that's a peace that nobody else can feel. It honestly is. So where you would fight for your marriage or your relationship with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you should do the same exact thing in your friendships, because those are just as important. And a lot of times they're before your relationship, and they'll probably be after after. So you got to nurture those the same way you would nurture your romantic relationship.
And that's a good point you bring up. Would you be bothered or affected? Because if not, then maybe they're not that significant.
Yeah, they're probably more an associate.
Correct. So then that's the key too. We need to learn how to define and categorize people in your life. And I know we talked about doing that as a topic, and we probably will, but not today. But that is very important, because when I was saying, like with Alicia, I hadn't heard from her, I literally, like, my eyes watered, like, oh God, no, I don't have time for this. Nope, she's fine. You know who you care about, because you feel it in you, like, okay, I got to call her. I'm about to start calling the kids,
Right. I got to find out what's going on.
Correct. If they are significant to you in your life and you care, then you should be checking in on them, and vice versa if you have that type of relationship. Now, if you have associates, then maybe you're off the hook. But for friendship check-ins, we're talking about friendships. Do you feel like you do enough friendship check-ins? And what is enough? Like I said, it's not really a number. We can't put a number on it. But if you had to ask yourself, are you a good friend, and do you check in on your friends as you should? What would be your answer? Are you getting an A, B, C, D, E, F?
And then would you be satisfied if those tables was turned if the person was that's what they were giving you? Because we all know, treat people how you want to be treated, and you'll be good, because trust me, you're not going to treat yourself bad.
Right.
But if you were in a romantic relationship and you were not living together, and that romantic partner did not call for 2 days, I guarantee you, you outside the house, you done called the phone, you done text, you probably done broke up with them 12 times for not answering the phone. You calling the mama, you calling the cousins. You in the phone book with everybody by that last name. So you should do the same thing. You should do the same thing for your friends.
Hey, Doc, you sound like you've done this before.
I have. But it was more of a block thing, honey. When I went to block them, I said, I'm blocking everybody's last name the same. I said, I'm blocking everybody's, honey, because I hold a real good block party. And everybody's invited. And you usually don't get paroled at all. Once you own it, you own it, honey.
Yeah, I'm like, she on the road. That sound like she did this shit before. But that's the truth, though.
It is. Really, it really is.
You should be thinking of it as a significant other, because that's who they are. It should be. If that's who you, I mean, I have significant other friendships, and then I have, associates. I have friendships that we don't talk. But even, like I said, it just depends on, your relationship and your role in that relationship. So are you doing enough to check in on your friends that you're close to, that you should be checking in on, and vice versa?
Right. And if something happened, would you be at peace with the way you've handled your friendship check-ins? Would you be at peace with that?
Right. And treat people how you want to be treated, because you can't expect people to treat you any better than what you're treating them. We've talked about that before. If you're a shitty person, then expect to get shitty people, treat you the same way. But if you're not giving, you're expecting more than what you're giving, then you're expecting too much.
Yeah, it's already bad, because you have to reciprocate. You have to. Nobody wants to be around a taker. We want to give and take.
Right.
So,
real. So be good to yourself and to others, and treat others how you would want to be treated. And I think with that, we would probably be just good. But I think that's easier said than done, because a lot of times we don't treat people how we want to be treated.
We don't.
And think about how you feel when someone doesn't check in on you when you're going through something, or think about when people just don't check in on you, period.
Right.
I mean, because that's a kind of hurtful feeling, especially if you think you have friends and significant others in your life and they don't. But like you were saying, if my husband didn't call me for 24 hours, it's a problem.
Yeah.
If we going live at 5, here we go. We'll stir up some shit. What you mean? Where you been? What you doing?
Right.
So if I have a friend, and I don't hear from them that I'm that close to, then that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, because there's usually a routine. There's usually a routine. So you can tell if something ain't right. So there's usually a routine with people that you're really close to.
So that's a good point, too. If the routine is not
if it's broken,
then something you may need to be checking in on.
It's time to dig.
That's a good point, because I wonder if people even think about that, because I hadn't. It's like, okay, we talk maybe once a month and I haven't heard from the routine is broken.
Yeah.
It's my time now to check in. And stop. My thing, here's what I was just thinking about. Stop internalizing shit, saying, they didn't call me, I ain't calling them, or they acting funny, I ain't heard from them in a month. People, that kills me, because if you're both going to that way, then
nobody's going to reach out. Yeah. Now, where I jump off the bus is if I keep calling you and you don't respond. Correct. Because I'm feeling like maybe I should stop. Maybe they're not trying to talk to me. But after so long, you may be like, oh, no, they not responding to me. I'm not going to keep reaching out. Yeah. But when it's innocent and maybe one time or something, but the point is that would mean you keeping score, and we shouldn't do that with friends.
Stop.
So, we're not.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't want to feel like somebody's keeping tally and keeping score on what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, because I'm very authentic. And like I say, sometimes I may be guilty of not checking in when I should. But my people, if they know me, they know. Right. And I'll have to say, like, some shit like, charge it to the game and not to my heart, or because I've been busy or whatever. But again, if you know me and we have that relationship, 9 times out of 10, you already know that. Yeah. You know I'm busy. You know what I'm doing, or you know what I'm going through. And it wasn't anything personal, but I'm accountable too. Right. So if I got busy, or it just kind of went without me doing this because it didn't cross my mind because I'm so enmeshed into something else, then I'm going to say that, oh, my bad. I should have called. Hey, I've been so big. Hey, I didn't mean, how are you? Right. Are you good? Forgive me. I should have checked in. I should have called. We need to really start being more accountable and start treating our friends and others like we want to be treated. Yeah. Because, these are hard times. And especially like at my age, I value friendships and relationships more than I know other people do. Some younger people may feel like they're disposable and can throw them away. But right now, when you're going through so much, you need your people. Yeah. And I always say at this age, the friends that you make and that you have, these are the ones that's going right on to the nursing home with you. Because at this age, you should not be throwing friends away, picking new friends up, throwing friends. You're at an age where these people should be pretty much like family to you. But I think that a lot of times it doesn't even feel like check-ins, because you're just generally talking to these people every day. So, you're just generally talking to them every day. Yeah. So, like I said, if you're just talking to them, I like to think that you're getting a feel for people. Yeah. That's my thing. Yeah. I know I'm a therapist, so that's what I'm going to do. I wonder, do other people do that? Because like I can have somebody tell me like, I'm good or I'm fine. And I know. Right. I know that they're not. Right. Right. I'm that person's person and vice versa. So they may try, oh, I'm good. Or and I can hear right through it. It's right. And I know that's not even how you usually talk to me, talking about you good. So come on with it. Yeah. When you're talking to people, if you can hear in their conversations or within their tone or speech rate or whatever, I don't want to use these therapy terms, because y'all gonna be like, what the hell she talking? But that's what I'm thinking. When I'm listening and when I'm talking to people and I'm listening, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not analyzing you, but I'm very observant. I'm like, okay, was the speech too fast? Was the speech too slow? Was it too high? Was it too, too low as far, I'm really thinking about that. Yeah. And if you're in front of me, were you giving me eye contact? Were you looking away? Did you hold your head down? Were your eyes looking watery? I'm always very observant when I'm talking to and or communicating with people. Were you short? Did you give me just one word answer? When I know that's not normally you. And and you usually talking my head off and our ears off, and I'm good. Nope. Yep. No, we should know, and it's not just me being observant or being a therapist. People should know how, if you know your people and you have a good relationship, you should understand their behaviors and their patterns, and you know when something's off. And I think that's the key, what you said. If you know your people, you know when they're not okay. No matter what their mouth say, if you know your people, you know when they're not okay. Because I tell my husband all the time, he try to pretend like when he's something ain't about me. I'm like, boy, I know you better than you know yourself. I'm like, I know how your eyes move, if they moving too fast, if your lips is turned the wrong way. I know you. I'm looking at all. His lips turned up. Oh, his eyes shifted fast. Oh, okay, he's shaking his leg, or I know. You look, because you're used to people. You know their behaviors, and you can kind of tell when something. Yeah. My husband starts walking around a person. What's wrong going on? Cleaning up too much, boy. You know damn well you clean up. What's going on? I trying to think what movie it was, and the lady was like, I know your resting heart rate. I was like, dang. I was like, that's serious. No, let me go find out. It was a movie, and she's like, and I know
know your arrest to her rate. I was like, my, I'm going to have to put that on my list next time.
Girl, you got me choking, but yeah, I ain't never heard of that one. But Bobby, I'm going to need to know your arrest and heart rate.
Yeah, so I know what's going on.
But no, you really do. You know your people.
Yeah,
so
you do.
If you know them and how they are, and they don't seem like themselves, then it's probably a good idea to continue to check in even more.
Yeah.
You know, because something's off. Even if they lead you to believe or try to lead you to believe that something's not, because sometimes they may not want to talk about it or something. But if you really care about them, you're going to want to find out if they're really okay.
Right. And in every relationship, you have your strengths and weaknesses. Mm-hmm. I'm proud to say this is one of my strengths. So, I mean, I probably will tend to get on somebody's nerves rather than I will leave them hanging out there to dry. Because I'm just like, my mind will think, oh God. Now, at the end of the day, sometimes you'll lay in bed and go, oh my God, I meant to text such and such. And before you know it, it's too late. But actually checking in on people, I guess it comes easy for me because I really do genuinely want to know if you're okay. Like, let me make sure they're okay. And I think the more you go through things, the more you check to make sure other people are okay. Yeah.
I guess I'm good at checking in on certain people.
Yeah, and it's gonna be that way.
And I'm good sometimes when I'm not really busy because I feel like I'm a very busy person, you know. So I was writing something the other day, and I was like, somebody asked me about myself or something, a bio or profile or some crap, and I was writing it, and I was like, and in my spare time, and I bust out laughing because I was like, spare time? What the hell is that? I was like, I don't even have spare time, and I'm laughing, and I'm typing this as I'm like, well, I'm a busy person. I have 1,000 hooks in me, and I have 1,000 projects.
Your
always going on.
Your schedule is reversed.
Yeah.
Because you're up when people are trying to
that
rest.
Too.
So if you wake up and you get a text and say, I know you sleep. I was. But I'm going to get your ass when I wake up in the morning too, and you going to be asleep.
Right. Because I'm up, like I said, y'all see my Facebook post 3 a.m. like, and everybody sleep. I'm like, hey. But no, I'm a lot of times, I'm on a reverse schedule, or I may be busy, and it's not, like I said, to charge it to my...
Yeah, it's not intentional.
Yeah, but if I know something's going on, I'm good at checking in on people, but I feel like sometimes I could probably do better. I think we all could.
Yeah.
But I feel like it should be a two-way street as well.
Definitely.
So if I feel like, hey, they never give two shits about how I'm doing, I'm not going to go out of my way to always check. Now, I may still check in on you every now and then, even though I know you'll give two shits about me, but I'm not going to go out of my way because then that says to me that we're not each other's people.
Yeah, and you're not, you're not even equal. Like, they're not expecting it.
Correct.
Like, you're giving them more than they even expect.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you're not my people, you shouldn't be, and vice versa. I shouldn't be either. But in my defense, like I said, sometimes I am guilty of not probably checking in as much as I would want to, only because I feel like I get so busy. But then there's certain people that I'm committed to.
Yeah. So I give you an A because I haven't never wondered, I wonder what's going on with Tina. She ain't text. And I don't call it check-ins because we literally are just talking about something, but at least that lets us know we're both okay. Because if you're going through things, trust me, some stuff you are not even going to even think to talk about if you're going through things. So that's a sign that the person's okay just based off of what their conversation is. Because I'm not going to be talking about just any old thing and then I'm sitting up here stressed out of my mind. You're going to notice that the conversation wouldn't be the same.
Oh, you're going to know with me. That's probably say I'm too damn transparent.
Yeah. So
I'm telling too much. Girl, and guess what? And my boo-boo was purple. I'm going to tell everything. Be like, tell too much. You just too much information. But no, anybody, if there's something going on with me 9 times out of 10, if you know me, you'll know. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, if I know my people, I'm going to know. So yeah, I think we don't want to really harp on this, but we will get back to, what was the topic I said we need to talk about?
Categorizing friends so that we're not calling everybody friends when some people are not.
No, that's not your friend, girl. That's your associate. Yeah. I think we do that a lot, and we're all guilty of is saying friends. Yeah. Because if I had to really count how many friends I had, I'm not going to tell y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Everybody, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, based off of my definition of friend. Yeah. So, again, that's going to be a great topic. We're going to talk about categorizing people in your life and knowing where to put people in your life, and not just necessarily friends and associates, but just categorizing people in general.
Yeah, because of the real friends, and I'll stop here so I don't go into our next topic, but the real friend is really family. It's really really family. You think of them as a friend because people will be like, I didn't know that was your cousin. Well, it is, kind of, some way down the line. But it should be such a blurred line to them being family because that's just how close you are. And then you have your people that are associates. But the main point in this is just check on your people, take care of your people, treat them the way you want to be treated. Or if you're somebody that don't harp on how good people treat you, treat them as well as you'd want the most important person in your life treated. So I'm going to treat you the way I would want my mom treated because I don't play about her. So I'm going to treat you as good as I would treat my mom.
That's a good point too, because that's what I tell my husband all the time. Hey, talk to me how you would talk to your mom. Yeah. Because, you know, in that's people's mind, that's going to be the person they have the most respect
that you handle with the most.
If they have that respect for them. So I use his mom because I know he loves and respects her. So, hey, I'm
going to pick her. Yeah.
So that's a good point to make. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you want to get treated good by me, treat me like your mom, because I'll treat you pretty good. Right. There's some other people, if you mention, I might not treat you no kind of way.
And we ain't naming names and titles either.
In this episode.
But all right, so it's Women History Month, right?
Yes.
Didn't we have something, or did you have something? You know, you always have these lovely little gems that you want to leave people with. Did you have some gems today?
Yes, I do.
You wanted to leave people with, and about what?
We're talking about, so we just came back from our sisterhood retreat, and it was very valuable. It's important to know how important those people are in your life. Because a lot of times if you don't have that support, it kind of leaves you feeling alone. So you have to treat those people like they hold that type of value in your life as well. So we went to our retreat, and it was a very good retreat. Tina did an excellent job. Go, Tina! She gave us lots of good goodies in our bags, and she just did an excellent job planning it and everything. So I have a couple of things, and I call it Women's Herstory Month versus Women's History Month because it's all about us. Yeah. So one of the gems is sisterhood means if you happen to fall, there will always be someone to help pick you up. And that's by an unknown person. So I'm not saying it's mine, but I don't know exactly whose it is.
Right, but it's a goodie.
Yeah, it's a goodie.
I want to leave you guys with one by, who's that? Isidore James. A sister is a gift to the heart, a friend to the spirit, a golden thread to the meaning of life. And when I say sister, I mean those friend sisters or the sisters that we've, chosen to be our sisters, because I have quite a few of those. And I really feel like they are a gift to my heart and a friend to my spirit. So I appreciate all my friends and sisters, and I really did enjoy the sisterhood. And I encourage everyone listening to have a bond, whether you're a man or a woman listening to this. Find your bros and have that bond and know who your people are and know that we need each other.
Yeah, and be inseparable. Be so crazy about your friends that people start to wonder things. be that friend. I mean, honestly, tell your friends you love them. Make sure that they know that they feel love, but just be crazy about your friends the same way you would be about any other relationship that's in your life. Because I'm telling you, those people are going to be the people that you're going to have to call on when you really are in dire need. So treat them as such.
Yes, I won't say much more. But until next time, people, stay hopeful
and stay curious.
Before we part ways, we invite you to share your own stories, thoughts, and reflections with us. Connect with us on social media, reach out through our website, or simply leave a comment on your preferred podcast platform. Feel free to leave us in voicemail at 816-607-1243 with any thoughts, concerns, or questions that you'd like shared on Lifing 101 or just answered or addressed. If you prefer to send us an email, feel free to do so by sending it to our website, lifing101pod.com, or send us an email to info@lifing101pod.com. Your insights and experiences enrich our shared understanding of this incredible journey we're all a part of. Please subscribe to this podcast and follow our website, lifing101pod.com, and find and follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Stay hopeful, stay curious, and keep embracing the vibrant, unpredictable, and awe-inspiring journey that we call life. Goodbye for now, and may your days be filled with endless wonder.